Imagine if today was the last day of your life. Would you do anything differently? That's the message at the center of the film Before I Fall, in theaters next month. The movie tells the story of a teenage girl who's forced to relive the day of her death every day for a week.
If I was going to relive the same day over and over, I want it to be a day that would make a difference. But not just for me. I just need to hold on for one more minute.
The movie stars Zoey Deutch, who goes on a journey of self-discovery to become a better person. And she joins me now in studio, along with the director of the film, Ry Russo-Young. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Let's start with you. What attracted you to this role, to this story?
Well, I mean, it's such a beautiful story with so many worthy messages. And I felt like, yes, although this film questions death and mortality, but at the center of it, it really feels like this celebration of life, which I loved. And that's what people say when they get out of the movie. They're like, I'm crying not because I'm sad, but because it makes me appreciate my life and the people that I love. And it kind of is the reactions have been really remarkable.
And Ry, how did this story come into your orbit?
I was sent the script, actually, a few years ago, and when I read it, it really surprised me. I found it surprisingly deep and emotional, and I was really moved by it personally, and I wanted to do it.
Now, you both attended the women's marches at Sundance. Talk to me about sort of women in your industry and the representation of women in your industry.
I think it's starting to change,
yeah.
But I mean, a lot of us have seen the numbers that there really aren't very many women directing Hollywood films in the top tier budget levels. One of the things that's really cool about Before I Fall is that it's based on the novel by Lauren Oliver, who was a woman, and then adapted for the screen by Maria Magenti, also a woman, and then a female director, and it features primarily relationships between women and girls, and it's not sort of just about getting a boyfriend.
Right. The romance isn't even really the A, B, or C plotline. The film is about this young woman's journey to become who she is. Yeah. And the film isn't, the moral of the story is not like, be a nice girl, it's become who you are.
Now, a lot of people will never be on a movie set. They will never understand the dynamics that go on a movie set or the business behind it. They just go to the movies.
It's all very glamorous, as you know. It's all glitz and glam.
But talk to me about someone who's sort of on the inside. How is it different as an actor to be directed by a woman? To have a female director, have leadership, but to have that dynamic be infused into every aspect of making a movie.
Well, I think to have a woman a director and woman writer represent, they understand the female condition, and I felt like you knew how to not belittle the teenage experience as a young woman, which is so beautifully portrayed in this film that it really dignifies the teenage experience. And I mean, more than anything, I mean, she's an incredible artist and an incredible human and an incredible director, and she's a woman.
I think there was also a sense of authenticity on set and intimacy between the girls in terms of their relationships. A lot of the time we're used to sort of the kind of male gaze of filmmaking where there's like pan-ups of women's bodies and all of that sort of language that we're so accustomed to. And part of this was being able to be a real collaboration between us.
You know, I see that picture, and I saw the two of you holding hands before we came on camera. There seems to be a real affection.
I'm obsessed with her. I sound like a creepy stalker when I talk about her.
But tell me why.
It's because she's an incredible. I just said it. I'll say it again. She's like ridiculous. She's so talented.
Right? Do you take compliments well?
No, not at all. I'm like dying here. I'm like, oh.
She like crawls under the table.
Really.
It's crawling away.
This collaboration, I think, is what made the movie so successful. And Zoey is really our eyes in for the whole time. She is the audience's surrogate, and the whole movie wouldn't work unless her performance was as strong as it is. And I was so attracted to her from the very beginning in terms of her range. This is not an easy role.
That's a lot of responsibility to heap on someone's shoulders. Did you at any point doubt whether you were up to the task?
Well, I trusted Ry and the guidance, and I love what I do, and it was a great opportunity, and it's a great part. And again, there are really a lot of beautiful messages, so I took it very seriously, and I don't know.
She worked really hard, and she did an incredible job.
And you know, acting in Hollywood, not foreign to you growing up. You know, you come from a second generation, right?
Yes.
Any advice that's been passed on over the years from parent to daughter as you've gone into this business?
Do what you love, work hard, be nice to people, wear sunscreen.
That is very good. I got the same advice. I said, my parents always said two things. They said, find something you love doing and do it as well as you possibly can.
And you said exfoliate.
And exfoliate.
That's your
yes.
trick. Everyone back home.
Exfoliate. Those are the 3 rules of television work. Exfoliate, exfoliate, exfoliate.
Yes.
So what do you work on next? Once you've put this to bed, what's next for both of you?
Well, we want to work together again, for sure.
That's a shocker, by the way.
Right. I'm like, I'll do any movie as long as it's with Zoey, basically.
Yeah.
That's my only criteria.
Same here. I'll be an extra. I could play a table. I'm really good at playing anything, really.
And I think, lastly, I want to go back to what you said. You said there's a lack of women at the upper echelon in terms of budgets of films. What's it going to take for us to get to that place?
Well, I'm hoping that we will be the change we want to see. So the hope is that, people, that we make more movies and that those movies do well at the box office, and that helps the powers that be continue to hire female directors and make inspiring stories about women. And diversity in general, I will say, not just women.
From your lips to the ears of the executives listening, thank you both very much for being here. Congratulations. And I hope to see you again soon.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Before I Fall is in theaters March 3rd.